Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back with part 2 of Black Saturdays. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope people from the Black community share these videos with each other and discuss ideas on how to empower the Black community in Britain and all around the world. So, as I say, hope you enjoy it, and these are ideas number 11 to 20. And as ever, I welcome your suggestions and feedback, constructive criticisms, or positive reinforcement, or anything else you want to comment. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, all that kind of thing. I'm a big supporter of those sorts of things. So if you do disagree with me or anything, or you don't like any of my ideas, please let me know either way. Or if you do like them and you think they're great or whatever, either way, anything you want to post, please feel free. I never delete any posts. But with that being said, having said that, here goes. So number 11, I would love to support. I mentioned how I'd love to support Black-owned startups and SMEs, and also I'd love to support Black stand-up comedians. Black stand-up, sticking to the theme of alliterations and like stand-up Saturdays as well as start-up Saturdays. But yeah, so I'd love for people to share any projects or any things that Black people work on, like for October, for like so it could be things like stand-up, startups, SMEs, and all sorts of things like that. Number 12, I'll say any projects that Black people are working on for Black History Month. I would love to see any sort of links of such and see how I can support such, like supporting Black startups, SMEs, stand-up comedians, or any projects that Black people in Britain and all over the world. I'd love to support them from one minority community to another, and also to encourage others to support them. And as I said in part 1, I would love to see how, if there's a way to support at least 14 or maybe even more, the more the merrier, Black people in all possible countries starting their own startups and growing their own startups as well, starting and growing their own startups and SMEs, and even bigger businesses perhaps, how to help them to become successful. Obviously, as they say, a journey of 1,000 steps starts, or any distance really starts with a single step. So starting up is the first step, I suppose, taking those risks, encouraging Black people to start their own business and take their own risks and network together and learn from each other. So ones that have already achieved success can help the others. I saw a while back there's a South African entrepreneur called, well, motivational speaker, and I think he's an entrepreneur as well, called Vusi, I don't know how to pronounce his surname, Thembekwayo. Any South Africans out there, please correct me on my pronunciation if I get it wrong. You can put his name and then put the actual pronunciation in brackets if I get it wrong. But Vusi Thembekwayo talks about supporting business in South Africa and how more Black people can start their own startups and things like that. He looks at how to fund them and that kind of thing. And I think he has a quest to support, I think it's 300 startups, Black-owned startups in South Africa by 2030, if I'm not mistaken. I was trying to refine that video, but I couldn't quite find it. Yeah, so I would love to look at ways to help projects like that and work together with people who share the similar sort of goals, if not the same sort of goals. So yeah, but in my case, I'd say maybe 40 every year, so 40 more Black people in all possible countries, 40 or even more. The more the merrier, as I say, in each possible country. Moving on, number 13, I'd love to look into like what are the struggles, challenges, issues, and whatnot facing Black people starting their own businesses or starting their own careers in like stand-up or other areas where, like, just to get started. What are the issues that are helping them with their confidence, and look at ways to fund, in the case of startups, fund those sorts of businesses, and in the case of stand-ups, perhaps give them exposure to markets, so to speak. So basically opportunities to get into those sort of areas. Number 14, again, look at how we can solve some of those issues, obviously addressing some of the issues that they face, some of the struggles and that kind of thing. Number 15, how can we support Black people with the Black community's ambitions generally as communities, as well as individuals and communities? How can we support them? And how can we empower the Black community? That's what I was trying to think of. Sorry. How can we empower the Black community and support the Black community generally, including other communities like minority communities, including my fellow Anglo-Indians, Eurasians, mixed race people, Asians and other groups and potential allies, businesses, I'd say like Starbucks and Sainsbury's and Tesco and other companies, Walmart and whichever other companies out there. How can they support local and national and international black businesses and that kind of thing? I'd love to have other people's suggestions and look at ways we can network. Number 16, on that note, I'd love to, as I often say, like have committees, think tanks, cooperatives, and basically networks, or whatever you want to call them. I use those terms interchangeably, but basically groups of people, or a group of people, maybe even, who discuss those ways to empower the black community. And also like chatting on Zoom. As I mentioned before, I'd love to interview members of the black community about what sort of issues they face and how they can be supported and empowered, and that kind of thing. Number 17, once again, what are some projects? It could be like stories, books, films, stand-up, startups, SMEs, or any other sort of projects run by black people that could be supported. Again, please share the links in the comment section, both on Facebook and YouTube. I welcome those sort of comments and ways to support those sorts of things, and like black stories, things like that. And I think it'd be cool to see more black-owned coffee and tea companies, brands, bread companies, and all sorts of different companies ran by members of the black community where they could support each other and network together, even superstores or things like that. Number 18, I'd love to hear also read positive stories from the black community in Britain, I would say, and all around the world, successes and achievements they've made. And I know there's some videos already on that sort of thing on YouTube, and also on Google. There's some stories as well that have been made. I'm sure a lot of success stories. Sometimes it's difficult to read them all or see them all because it's only 24 hours in a day. But I'd love to see those positive stories of the black community, and also supporting like social media, content creators, influencers, that kind of thing. And to be fair, Google and YouTube, which is owned by Google, if I'm not mistaken, have done quite a bit to support black content creators, startups, founders, and that kind of thing. Number 19, black in software development. I'd love to support black people in software development. Again, I know there are already quite a few things on Google and on YouTube which talk about black software developers, including videos on black software developers and from black software developers themselves. But yeah, I hope to share that information. And again, there's only 24 hours in a day, so it's difficult to see them all. I'd love to like all their videos and support them as much as possible. But I'd say there's only so many hours in a day, so much time, and having so many plans, it is difficult to work on them all. And number 20, hashtag black in STEM. I'd love to support black people around the world, including Britain, as I say, Britain and all across the world, especially in Africa and Australasia. Like, for instance, Aboriginals in STEM, Africans in STEM, and that kind of thing. But also black people in STEM all around the world, and how they can perhaps again network with each other, learn from each other, and that kind of thing. And again, supporting 40, I suppose it could be 40 black-owned startups, 40 black SMEs, and even 40 black big business owners, and also just generally projects, 40 or more black projects all around the world, and also in Britain, as I said, and all around the world, and also 40 black people in stand up, and all sorts of different projects. I say at least 40, if not more, each year. I think that'd be pretty cool to help 40 or more black people to start their own businesses and build their own SMEs and even bigger businesses each year. And I'd love to know what you think about my mad ideas, and if you have any mad or not mad ideas of your own. And I'm out. Peace out.